Hi guys, welcome to Tamra, the Judeo-Christian Medium. That's me, I'm Tamra. I'm a Jewish Christian medium. I know that can sound contradictory for those who are just searching the internet and don't know who I am. You can check out my About section and my other videos for further description, but I'll just give you a quick description. I started out on this channel as a tarot reader, and through discovery from doing tarot and also backtracking through my life, well, as I was doing tarot, I connected to Jesus and my team, and they told me a lot about who I am, and Jesus asked me to relay messages from him, and he informed me that not only am I spiritually Jewish as he is, I also have Jewish DNA. And I also have Celtic DNA, and I will talk about bloodlines, the tribes of Israel, the time of the disciples in further videos. But anyway, through tarot, I started speaking with Jesus, and I'm trying to relay his messages. And a lot of the messages that he tried to relay to the Jewish people when he was here before his crucifixion. So we go over messages and all kinds of things. So you can check out all my other things on my channel. But for now, today, we're going to talk about the Pleiadians, yay! And it's a rainy night in New York City, so I'm just filming this candle here. My team picked out this candle. It's a very masculine candle, and it's kind of a dark purple, almost black. It's which does fit into the Pleiadian color scheme, which I'll talk about in just a minute here. But it's also a very strong smelling candle, kind of musky, very masculine, and I don't think I've ever had such a masculine candle. And you know, they picked it out for me, and I was like, guys, should I give this to one of my male neighbors? It's very strong. And they were like, no, we want you to light it. They like certain smells, and they also are into symbolism, and now I can see how it all ties together with this Pleiadian reading. So before I get started, I want to introduce my spiritual team and talk a little bit about that before I start talking about the Pleiadians and what it means to be Pleiadian, and maybe you're Pleiadian. So let's get into it. So I want to describe and thank my spiritual team, and tonight they wanted me to describe more colors of how they come in. So first of all, we have God, who is all around us, God's energy, the creator of us, and the creator of life on other planets. So what I've been told by Jesus and my team is that when God created humanity on earth, there was already life on other planets. So he employed, I should say, the Arcturians, the Pleiadians, the tall whites, and the reptilians. And those four energies created humanity here on Earth. So those are the four oldest major galactic influences here on Earth. And I'm making videos about each one. And obviously today we're talking about the Pleiadians. Sorry about the sirens, guys. I'm in New York, so we can hear anything tonight. It's a nice rainy night in June, so anyway, okay, I digress. Let me get back to the spiritual team that is here with me. We have God all around us, and the way that they present themselves to me, or their energy, is God presents himself to me as a masculine energy, and it is white and gold and all around. And for me, he comes in through the upper right, and he connects directly to Jesus. And Jesus comes to me as a masculine figure. And I know people take issue with that, with the battle of the sexes we have going on, but I'm sorry, this is just my experience. You all feel free to believe what you want to believe and connect to who you want to connect, but these are messages and this is my experience. Jesus comes in. So it's like this diagonal energy to my upper right, and he comes in. He comes in as it's silver, and like Jesus, God is like gold and white, and it sort of transfers to Jesus in a sometimes golden, silver, indigo, and white is how Jesus comes in, depending on his mood too, because he can, but that's mostly how he comes in. I'll explain more about the colors later. And then he connects in this circle around me, and to the right he connects to Archangel Michael, who represents and is a protecting leader, a force of the Pleiadians, and he comes in golden and indigo, and white around him too, and he is a protector. And while they're here, I want to thank them for this reading, thank them for everything. Thank you, Archangel Michael. Thank you, God. Thank you, Jesus. And now, as we're going now in a circle, so now we're going to my sort of upper left, and we have Metatron. Thank you, Metatron. And Metatron is a swirl of mostly red and orange. So now we have the rainbow, and in between them we have all the colors of the rainbow. So we have another group of archangels behind them. So, okay, and now we're going around in the circle just below Metatron. We have Archangel Eric Medhus. Now he's also Archangel Eric Medhus is also part of Uriel. But for my readings, he just sort of comes and sits to my left. And then right in front of me and behind me, sits Archangel Gabriel. And Archangel Gabriel is a combination of a lot of different colors, can be rainbow, but very strong yellow, red, and orange, depending on what's going on too. So, because he's in the center of the rainbow. So, now in another semicircle behind them, like an orchestra, and I want to thank all of you, and thank you. So we have Archangel Sandalphon. Now, to my right is, in this group, are the tall whites. And so the energy again is extending from Jesus. It's like light energy, and it extends to Archangel Sandalphon, who comes in as white, gold, and silver, and a tall white. Thank you, Archangel Sandalphon. And next to Sandalphon, we have Archangel Azrael. And Azrael is a mixture of indigo, sometimes mixes with green and red, and is I'll explain each archangel in other videos. So thank you, Archangel Azrael. Next to Azrael, we have Jophiel, who comes in as very silver, gold, and white. And next to Jophiel, ooh, I'm sorry, I forgot to say Raphael. Raphael, you helped me so much, I'm sorry. Next to Sandalphon is Archangel Raphael, who is a healer, and Raphael, that beep was funny right after I said that. So Raphael, they love, Metatron loves horns. He's always laughing, especially little like clown horns. Anyway, I digress. Oh my goodness, there's so much going on. Okay, a lot of traffic I can hear. So thank you, Raphael. Raphael comes in oftentimes with this healing, like pinkish energy. It's silver and pink, like a cool silver, pink, and white. And I've already described Azrael. Thank you, Raphael. Thank you, Azrael. Thank you, Jophiel. And now we have me, Archangel Uriel. And I actually have had a picture taken of my aura. It was about 20 years ago. And I've put that on my channel. So my aura is indigo, white, and sometimes a little bit of green. They said when I'm teaching. So these colors are really interesting. So Archangel Eric Medhus is part of Uriel, but he comes to me as separately as Archangel Eric Medhus because within each archangel group are individual souls. So he is an individual soul, and Archangel Eric Medhus is responsible for connecting me to the other side. So that's why he comes in separately, but he's part of Uriel. And his mom has a channel here called Channeling Eric. Her name is Elise Medhus. So, okay. So to the left of me in this group, so they want me to tell you Uriel is, it's kind of like a divide between the Arcturian energy and the Pleiadian energy. But also to let you know, guys, most people, if you are Pleiadian, you're probably also Arcturian, as there are a lot of people who are a mixture, but you could be just one or the other. But Uriel is the dividing energy. Wow, guys, sounds really complicated. I hope it's not getting too complicated. So let me move on. I'll try to explain things in other videos. It's hard to explain in, just one video. Okay, so now to the left of me, we have Archangel Zadkiel. So now we're going into the reds, the oranges, and yellows, and guys, the way they show it to me is the colors are not just like primary colors like we think of the rainbow. It really extends, like all the different colors. They're saying the Crayola box. It's like the big one. Archangel Metatron is saying like the big expensive one. With all of the different colors, it's like, yeah. But as we're going to the left of me, we're going more into the Arcturian energy, which is yellow, red, orange. But anyway, we have Archangel Zadkiel. Thank you, Zadkiel. And then to the left of him is Jeremiah. I can't wait to do videos about each one of you. Thank you, Jeremiah. Thank you. Oh, Jeremiah is saying, to let you all know that these energies extend, these colors extend to the earth, and that's where we get rainbows from. And oh my goodness, also I have Mother Mary, sorry Mother Mary, she's, thank you, on my right hand shoulder, and Father Joseph is on my left hand shoulder. So Mother Mary's energy protects the earth. And after it rains, we have a rainbow. This is all connected. This is all connected to these galactic influences, also known as these archangels. It is all connected, and that's why, guys, if you want to learn more about this, you can listen to near-death experiencers. Some of them meet archangels, some of them meet galactic beings. Some of them meet, depending on their DNA, their spiritual DNA. Some of them meet their tribe, their ancestors. So this is all valid. So many of you tuning in, you might be like, why does one person say this and one person say that? Because the universe is so vast. But anyway, let me go through my team. Thank you, Jeremiah. Next to Jeremiah, we have, Archangel Raguel. Thank you, Raguel. Raguel's very red, very, very flamboyant. Thank you, Raguel. Thank you, Chamuel. Thank you, Ezekiel. Ezekiel comes to me very orange. Thank you, Haniel. Haniel's more yellow. And thank you, Daniel. Daniel's very light. like a light yellow. So now you can see we have light yellow going to orange and red and like all different shades of red and green and blue, and yes, I don't think I mentioned purple. There's purple over to the right too. So anyway, that's a little bit about the colors, and many of you know the Pleiadian colors are indigo, and that's a mixture of white and blues and, you know, royal blue, dark blue. It all blends into an indigo color, and purple. So anyway, moving on from there, Archangel Michael is overlooking this video about the Pleiadians. As I said, he is the leader, well, God and Jesus, and but Archangel Michael is a leading force of the Pleiadians and the Galactic Federation. So they want to let you all know that you can't change your origin, your soul. There is one caveat. If you come to Earth as a reptilian, you can try to become an Earth angel. You can have that contract and you can try. It's a very tough mission, but you can try to do that. And I've talked about that in other videos. But for the most part, and even for that, you are one or more of these influences, but you will always be that. You can be a reptilian / Earth angel, but you will always be reptilian, Pleiadian, Arcturian, or a tall white. Sorry, distracted by the traffic. And some of you can be a mixture. So, let me see. And Archangel's mission, and Jesus, you know, Jesus is Prince of Peace, is to strive for peace. And a Pleiadian's mission is to strive for peace. And people have asked me, what are physical characteristics of Pleiadians? It's not exactly, but there can often be a little bit of a lazy eye, and that would be oftentimes on the right hand side, usually attractive, even if, and this goes with other star seeds too, you're not typically attractive, people will find you attractive because of what comes through your eyes. Usually sparkling eyes, oftentimes high cheekbones. Sorry guys, just going through my notes now too. So just to let you all know, I do automatic writing. So I do this sort of feedback loop. My team tells me things, has me look things up, and then tells me more. So, okay, as many of you know, the origin of the Pleiadians There is a Pleiadian star system, and it's next to Orion's belt. So that is true. So I actually, with this feedback loop of like looking up things, talking to them, they have said that is true. So oftentimes Pleiadians can be tall, but it's depending on your DNA. So there are DNAs obviously that go through, the Mayans and the American Indian. So in some cases, you might not be tall, but you still can carry the Pleiadian energy, and oftentimes in those circumstances you are oftentimes mixed with Arcturian. So you might take on more of a physical characteristics of an Arcturian. And again, this is since the beginning of humanity. And just to let you know, all star seeds. So when I say star seed, I mean Pleiadians, Arcturians, and tall whites. And I do separate reptilians because reptilians are more earthly, have an earthly energy, and they have life paths. So if you are a star seed, you are an Arcturian, Pleiadian, or tall white of origin, and if you are that, then you come to Earth on a mission. And generally, if you are a starseed, you have a twin flame, and you also have soulmates, but only starseeds have twin flames. So reptilians have soulmates, reptilians have soul groups, and reptilians have life paths. Okay, so let's get back to signs of Pleiadian. Okay, so just to let you all know that lots of music and some movies and books have explained this in different ways. So Jesus and this galactic team downloaded the movie Harry Potter. Okay, so that movie is about these galactic influences, and I will make a separate video just about that. Okay, so Pleiadians are represented in that movie, in that book, Harry Potter, as Gryffindor. So this is another way you could find out if you're Pleiadian. You can take the Harry Potter test online and see if you're in the house of Gryffindor. And if you are, you most likely are Pleiadian. Okay, so let's go to the traits of Gryffindor. They are brave. So we'll do the positive and then the negative that could come out of it. So you are brave, which can sometimes be a little foolish if it's you know, to the extreme and for the wrong reasons, chivalrous, and that brave spirit comes from the heart. Next we have courageous. So you try to do the right thing, especially when protecting others. You have a protective instinct. And if you're female, you may feel like an extra nurturer. And one of the downsides of that is by sticking up for others, you could end up hurt or, you know, deceased. So I'm trying to put that diplomatically. So next, you are daring. You take a lot of risks. You're willing to lose it all for your principles. And so you don't have to have all these traits, especially if you're mixed with another influence, or you might not have all these traits at the same time. Number 4 here we have is adventurous. You might have a little bit of Peter Pan syndrome. You might have a hard time settling down. So in a negative aspect too, being the house of Gryffindor, you could be stubborn, have a hero complex, be self-righteous, reckless, short-tempered, especially fools. You don't like to suffer fools. And I just want to, before we go to just what it means to be Pleiadian, aside from Gryffindor, I just wanted to kind of like do a comparison to, you know, they downloaded this he downloaded this info to make into Harry Potter, and so I'm going to switch over to just what it means to be Pleiadian. It's a little more extensive. And just to let you all know, within this angelic group, within this galactic group, remember how I talked about the rainbow, and I talked about like the colors to my right and the angels to my right and left. So I also want to let you know that from God it extends out. To my right are the elders. They're like, they come in, you know, obviously God is in charge and connected to Jesus, who is a messenger, and Jesus is actually comes in as, he has like a parent energy, and I have a parent energy, but as he connects out to my right, it's like a grandparent energy, and then as it goes around the circle, you know, I have a parent energy, and then it goes to the children energy and grandchildren energy. So it's kind of hard to explain, guys, but a lot of the sort of like really creative, like if we're going Metatron down to Haniel to Daniel, that's where we have a lot of the actors and musicians and creatives, and it's more of a lighter energy, the reds, oranges, yellows, and just to let you all know, an extra thing, it's like those are the kids and the grandkids, and you know, I'll talk about that in further videos. It's really interesting what they've shown me. And another thing too is sometimes, and definitely in this time period, the grandkids have decided to have harder missions, and that's where we have some grandkids of this starseed group who it's very, very tough if you're a grandchild in this group. The way that the team has put it to me is like, on the other side, you're just seen as a grandchild, like adorable, cute, sweet, innocent, loving, creative, and really your mission, your soul path is to be creative and to be lighthearted. But some have come in because the earth has gotten very harsh and very dark reptilian, and some of you who might be under this grandchild umbrella might be just have been born very light, very creative, very spontaneous, very sometimes naive, and if you were born into a family of reptilians, dark reptilians, life could have been very harsh for you, especially if you continued on and stayed in reptilian groups. And many of you, if you fit into that category, you could have had your creativity squelched, and that's very frustrating too. And I'll get more into that in videos, but it's very important. And a lot of my subscribers, I feel like between, sort of like a feedback loop between myself and them, I've been discovering that like a lot need to hear this advice, because they fall into that category. So anyway, let's move on to Pleiadian. So number one sign of being Pleiadian is being heart-centered. So you are about love. Love is, they're singing, love is the answer. And someday, yes, we will talk to John Lennon. But anyway, so it makes you're sensitive to criticism. You make decisions from your heart, not your brain, but of course, if you are Pleiadian tall white mixture, then you'd sort of go back and forth, if you have other influences. But just Pleiadian, you feel things deeply, you make decisions from your heart. You are love-centered, service-centered, protective. You can be naive. So now you can see how this is connected to Gryffindor. Now, if you are Pleiadian and you came into a harsh environment, you can end up being repressed. At the core of who you are, you want peace. We've talked about that. At the core of who you are, and if you really traced back, you are naturally joyous, caring. Let's see, you seek out, you're empathetic, and you seek out those in trouble. And a negative aspect of that is that you can be used, and you can be used by fake people who pretend to be weak, pretend to be in trouble in order to receive your energy and your assistance. And most definitely, if you are Pleiadian and you were born into, you have anyone in your family who is a dark reptilian, that's definitely, that would happen, and you're in danger of that, of being used and abused. So let's see, number 2 is you're honest, direct. Oftentimes you dislike small talk. Maybe, and this is advice from the team, is, you know, starting out small talk with people is normal and fine, but if you're Pleiadian, you probably would dislike just staying in that area. But they're saying don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. You have to sort of start small talk with people, and they do recommend across the board everyone to get, if you are getting to know people, get to know them slowly and build on the basics. Unfortunately, many people not wanting to make small talk miss a lot of basics about other people. Okay. Because of these positive traits of honesty and directness, you can get bullied by darker energy. So just to give you some stats here that I've given before in this channel, about 50% of the population are starseeds, and 50% are, you know, reptilian / dark reptilian. So it's a delicate balance. Number 3, you are naturally a healer. So people probably come to you with their problems, or they just want to be around you to heal. Sometimes just your energy. You can be an emotional sponge, and to let you know, if you are Pleiadian, a spiritual team would really recommend that you try to release your emotions, whether you're masculine or feminine energy. Try to cry when you can. The water is really soothing to Pleiadians, being around the water, but think of tears and releasing water. They're showing me right now, like taking a bath, crying, releasing your emotions, exercising, sweating, swimming, things like that. Really, really get out your emotions, because being Pleiadian, having that protective energy from your soul, it can be very stressful. You can get very wound up, very agitated, very stressed out. It's important to let it out. Okay, so moving on, you're a natural giver. So even though you are a giver, you prefer to be in situations eventually where there's collaboration, and that can be very hard, you know, especially if you're working with reptilians. You know, you may get drained of your starseed energy, but you prefer collaboration, and the team recommends that you find collaboration if possible. And the reason, guys, is that Pleiadians and starseeds, when we pass, we collaborate on the other side. Where it's always a collaboration. We collaborate on how to come back, what our mission is, how to accomplish it. So that's why we're natural collaborators, which can be very tough if you're surrounded by reptilians, which you want to watch the video I made on reptilians, where they're more concerned more about their growth and just their family's growth. It can be a very tough situation if you have a Pleiadian who thinks friendship is a collaboration and a reptilian who thinks friendship is a competition. You have two people with two separate goals, and what often happens is the Pleiadian will end up, same with Arcturian, end up like very disappointed, feeling used and hurt. And you know, I've talked about this in other videos. Sorry about the sirens, guys. I've talked about this in other videos, that a really tough thing is starseeds pretending to be reptilians, trying to fit in, but also this is going on really strongly right now in culture, is especially with social media. You know, reptilians try to copy starseeds to get likes, to get audience, you know, okay, so Jesus is saying this has gone on forever, but it's really obvious on social media. But also, you know, it's just doesn't help anyone for starseeds to try to pretend to be reptilians and reptilians to try to pretend to be starseeds. So, you know, how that would come across would be, you know, this idea of, what is it, like pretending, you know, most starseeds are seen here on Earth as having some part of the spectrum of autism, ADHD, learning disabilities, extra sensitive, allergies, things like that. So it would be like reptilians sort of pretending to have sensitivities to look cool, or, you know, pretending to be sort of a social justice warrior when they really don't care, just for like street cred, you know. Okay, so let's move on. Being Pleiadian, you might have a very sensitive throat chakra. You might suffer from laryngitis. You might struggle to be heard, and it's, you know, it's that strong energy, all that, think of this, guys, all that strong energy just trying to come out through your voice box. So you could have like a weak throat chakra, and you might need to work on that. You know, and it could get as bad as having thyroid issues, thyroid cancer, and you want to practice self-love. You want to really work on your throat chakra and protect it. Maybe if you're watching this video and you feel like that is you, protect your energy, protect who you talk to, how long you talk, especially if you feel like you have ADHD, you could really end up, trying to explain something to someone and blowing your voice out, or just going on tangents. A lot of you, if you feel like this resonates with you, you can do voice work. You can work with a vocal coach, and they can teach you how to work, how to breathe, and how to use your voice from your core. Okay, so moving on from that, I think we're at number 6. You like to fix others, and they reminded me of Chris Martin, and they downloaded the song to Chris Martin, "I Will Fix You." Okay, so I don't want to go too much on a tangent, but that song is about, this is a little bit of disclosure. The star seeds do travel around, and sometimes they travel physically on ships. So to let you all know that's a little bit of disclosure. I will make other videos about that. I don't want to get too much into it, but it just happened in Las Vegas, and my team wants to let you know that was not them. The reptilians also come here physically on ships. They said that was them, and I will get into that at another time, because the reptilians travel for their purposes, and there are dark reptilians who travel here, and there are star seeds and the Archangel group who travels here physically for different reasons, but one of the reasons is to, and there are testimonies of this has happened to me. They bring you on the ship, and like the song says, "I will fix you." If it is not your time to go, you can get fixed up on the ship, and that's I will talk about that in future videos. So number 7, you are empathic. I have said empathic before, but to the point of being psychic. You have mediumship abilities, or just very good intuition. Not all starseeds want to be a medium. So, but you do at times connect to the other side, and look into that further. So number 8, you're highly sensitive to sights, sounds, smells. My team is very sensitive, and so this is why they ask, and why you've heard about keeping your vibrations high, keeping your space, the vibrations high in your space through music. The music they're suggesting now, you can go through my channel. One way, they're saying through some of the videos that I've made of how to keep your vibrations high. I will make further videos about that, but it's good music, and you can watch my channel. I will list different musicians, scents, sounds, cleanliness, orderliness, typical things that you've heard. Gregorian chant, If you really would like to connect to the other side, you really need to talk to them. Listen to some Gregorian chant. It also, whatever what the starseed group, the galactic beings, the archangels, what they like. Just to let you know, the dark reptilian energy doesn't like. So this is where we get all the folklore of garlic and onions, and these things are true. My team has said the dark reptilians don't like garlic. Guys, garlic is a healing property, so they don't like that. They like the opposite of what my team likes. They like smoke and bad breath and bacteria, dirt, grime, things like that. Okay, so with being sensitive, many of you, if you're Pleiadian, can get ill more easily than, say, a hardy, earthy reptilian. So number 9 is many Pleiadians, and I've kind of touched on this, can have that Nordic look, you know, tall, with the cheekbones, almond eyes, and the eyes tend to either be intense, angelic, kind, bright, and so number 10, you feel like you're here on a healing mission, and you know, if you are a mixture of Arcturian, it could be a creative mission, and you know, if you're also tall white, you'd simultaneously, it's like, you know, they're showing me this feedback loop. That's like the expression of today, guys. So of using these 3 energies, and a negative aspect of that is that can be confusing to others if you're working from your creativity, intellect, and your heart together. So number 11, so that's a hard life path. I'm Arcturian, Pleiadian, and a tall white, and that could seem like I'm bragging or that it's highfalutin, but it's not. It's you know, it has its own challenges, as I'm always looking at things from those 3 angles, and you know, people can be like, well, who are you, you know? Creatives can think you're too stuffy and serious and intellectual, and intellectuals can think that you're too silly and imaginative. So moving on from there, oftentimes, but not always, someone with very strong Pleiadian influence can be generally physically fit, and the downside to that is like you need to exercise or you won't feel well. If you're born with a muscular makeup, which I'm born with, I have a very muscular, I have the DNA of an athlete, and you think, oh, that's awesome, but the downside is, guys, like, I have to exercise. So if there's any of you watching who have a muscular DNA, you must exercise or you won't feel well. Many of you can be taller, and many of the disciples had this disposition, which is why when you look back, and I'll explain that, because we carry the same physical characteristics lifetime after lifetime. So you can see in many of these religious figures and disciples, some of them had, very muscular bodies. Jesus, Archangel Michael, when he comes through as a human. So number 12, I've said this before. Collaborative, but you try to be peaceful and avoid conflict. It's very hard because you also fight for justice, and you're very protective. So that can be confusing because people, if your energy is to have peace, people can mistake that as a weakness, and it's a tough position to be in because you'd like peace but you're not weak. So we can end up getting in lots of fights, especially protecting others from bullies. And Jesus says a good way to prevent that is to sort of like fire warning shots. So let people know that you're not to be messed with, but not in a way that's aggressive. But that's on them too. So you can't do it all. Sometimes you just have to fight when your back is against the wall and you're Pleiadian, and you just feel that instinctually. So number 13 here, your children an animal magnet, and that is because they feel that protectiveness and they trust you. And that's an intuition. And so this is to let you all know too, if you feel that you are Pleiadian, Arcturian, you're a star seed, and you're not really happy with what you're doing, Jesus really recommends that you look into any sort of field where you can help people. And there's so much more beyond, say, a 9-to-5 job. Although, some star seeds might like that, depending on what you're doing. There's so many different careers, but you might want to do something in the helping field, work with autism or psychology, anything where you're helping people, working with animals. There's all kinds of different fields, because Jesus and Archangel Michael are saying that we really need people to be in the right field. So the only way that we can keep peace here and is for people to be in their right place. Now, as Uriel, as me being Archangel Uriel, this is my mission, is to help people to figure out to get back onto their mission, because that's a huge source of your happiness and the people you surround yourself with, and your partner. It starts with being true to yourself and your calling. And generally, if you are Pleiadian, and if you're Pleiadian, Arcturian, or Pleiadian tall white mix, you're going to be a helper of some sort. And you know, you might be in the creative field, but then end up also, you know, at some point helping others. So keep that in mind, you know, especially if you're watching this and you're feeling sort of lost. Sorry about moving the camera. I got sort of passionate there. But if you're feeling lost as a starseed, your North Star could be helping people. And it's funny because look to the North Star, and this group often hangs out there, and you might end up seeing, connecting with them. They're saying like, you know, look to, you know, if you want to get into astronomy, you know, you can get an app on your phone and just learn about it. Look to Arcturus, look to Orion, look to the North Star. And they said especially, you know, if you'd like to do that and pray at the same time, and you know, you can connect to them. So, I'm really moving the camera a lot. Over there to the left we have, you know, if you're still watching, you might just be listening, but over to the left we have Saint Francis of Assisi. Okay, so number 14 in this Pleiadian section, you can be seen as tough and maybe even aggressive, and that can be beneficial. But if that is manifested in a negative form, is you could end up being, you know, if you're truly unhappy Pleiadian, you could end up being a bit of a drama queen. So your aura is probably blue, indigo, purple, white. If you're in alignment, you're probably calm. Like mature, if you know, have really done a lot of work on your spirit, hopefully, you know, you can end up calm and protective. You're probably sensitive to toxins and have a desire to keep the earth clean. So that is one of the reasons why us starseeds come here with sensitivities, is to help balance out the toxicity here on Earth, and to keep the Earth clean. You might be a good communicator, which could make you a good actor, speaker, but many of you might have been actually born shy, especially if you came here as part of a reptilian family, if you came here with the mission to break generational curses. Being part of that group could have made you shy, and also depending where you fall on the autistic spectrum, you could be born very shy. there may be a need to detach from others. I guess the modern day lingo would be being codependent, and you might have been that or could be that if you had a toxic upbringing. So you'd have to work on healing that either here or on the other side. But if you're watching this, that might be something you could try to heal while you're here. You might have an unwavering faith, and Jesus, God, Jesus, Archangel Michael would really like to remind you to please not lose your faith, your integrity, your innocence. Please don't let the toxicity of being here destroy that, and don't give that up to the dark reptilian energy. And if you haven't watched my videos and you're wondering, what is this dark reptilian energy? Well, like I said, it's a group here, but on the other side, it's also an energy that hangs out in the fourth dimension and negatively influences humans. And throughout folklore, it's known as like that dark voice, the devil in your ear, temptation, addiction, vices, and it can work through other people. So just, not to scare anyone, but if you think you are a starseed, you do have a little bit of a target on your back. The dark reptilian energy would not like to see you succeed and can set up obstacles throughout your life. And through negative attachments, through others, they can be just negatively influenced against you. So just to let you know that, and try to seek your own protection, your own healing, and try to keep your own vibrations high. That's the most important thing you can do before helping others. And if you are feminine, you're a feminine starseed, they would like you to embrace that and work on that. And combine being feminine with your other qualities. So even though you have a mission here, if you are a starseed, if you are Pleiadian, you still can be led down the wrong path by stronger forces, especially groups. And you could end up being manipulated and fighting for the wrong cause, especially if you're the people manipulating you. The weakness of starseeds is being overpowered by their loved ones, because you are heart-centered, and one of your biggest goals is to love. You can be easily overpowered by relatives, by people you love. In a relationship, you could be thinking you're doing the right thing, but you're actually being manipulated by dark reptilians, who pretend to be victims when they're actually victimizing others. And a message from the Galactic Federation to you spearheaded by Archangel Michael, is they don't want reptilians in charge, in responsible positions, especially dark reptilians. If this happens, guys, if we let the dark reptilian energy be in charge of important things on our planet, we will extinguish ourselves, because it is a dark, competitive energy, and it doesn't belong in areas where leadership is called for, or true leadership, love of humanity, protectiveness, peace. If those positions are not occupied by starseeds, they will be corrupt. And if we have, one of the reasons I'm making these kinds of videos, and we have this kind of information coming out and disclosure, and all of it is to keep this delicate. We are right now unbalanced, and my team the Galactic Federation would like us to use our starseed energy to get humanity back into balance, to have starseeds in the responsible positions, and have reptilians following the right path that the starseeds that the Galactic Federation is laying out, and it's for the benefit of humanity, and it's necessary. So what did I write here? Starseeds who have been abused are vulnerable to protecting dark reptilians who, who play the victim. And, this is especially, we see this in relationships, romantic relationships. There are a lot of, especially male Pleiadians, who have partnered up with reptilian female partners, dark reptilian female partners, and it's because the Pleiadian male feels his protectiveness. Dark reptilians present that they really need them, sometimes more than other star seeds. And it can be vice versa. If you've been watching my videos, a lot of the actresses and famous musician females who come through have been taken out and taken advantage of by a dark reptilian. So just beware of that. And Archangel Michael is reminding you all, Pleiadians, a big goal of the Galactic Federation is to save the children. And this is a message that they've told me to tell you all many times. We need to save the children. And many of you are aware of the dark forces that out there that are attacking children, and we need to speak up and try our best to be in positions that protect children. And especially, a lot of things are being uncovered now with child trafficking and things like that. So, you know, one of the reasons why the Galactic Federation is coming on so strong now, and we're having more discussions like this, and people across all kinds of industries are coming to the same conclusions, is they are really beating down our doors because there's just so many people being victimized now, and they really would like to stop this. I'm kind of wrapping this up now. We're talking a little bit about the Pleiadian Arcturian mix. You know, you'd be sort of a sensitive, protective, creative. And I talked about this before. If you did choose to come in to change your family dynamics, break generational curses, shed light on narcissism or the dark triad, unfortunately, many of you, if that is your calling, many of you right now could be very angry, reclusive, bitter, and if you're still here, because many starseeds on that mission have not made it. They are, you know, on the other side. So, the Galactic Federation with me now, God, Jesus, Archangel Michael, all of the archangels, they'd like to let you know that they understand your plight. They're there for you. Please pray to them for strength. They thank you for coming here and for trying and for suffering. They don't want you to suffer. And unfortunately, many starseeds that come here into a reptilian, dark reptilian, narcissistic family, you know, it's a scale depending on the severity. Yes, there's suffering involved, but what you can prevent is to not continue that after you have dealt with your family. Don't continue that with your choices in life. You can choose, you know, if you have that freedom. They're saying, please choose wisely. Please choose to, when you can, to not perpetuate that dark energy, to find your true essence of who you are, and as best you can, be that and surround yourself with that. And that's where there's all kinds of ways of doing that. I will try to help through the advice from my team and my videos, and there are all kinds of, you know, there's all kinds of other ways you can do that out there. So, and so with that, guys, God, Jesus, Archangel Michael, my whole spiritual team, they really want to let you know that they love you. They're watching over you. They come here. They talk through mediums. They would love to talk to you. Please give them permission to help you. Pray to them. Ask for their help. Ask how you can help. Tell them how you'd like to talk to them, whether you're, you know, uncomfortable just talking directly to them. You might not be comfortable with that. You might want little signs. You might want to see a bird. You might want to see a dragonfly. You might want to see them in your dreams. But they're sending their love, and they'd like to connect. And they're saying, try to connect to your team, try to figure out who your team is, research your ancestry, go through your history and try to see, and you can write this down, this really helps. Just start from birth and try to see where you have had your metaphysical experiences and where your team has tried to connect with you. And you might figure out you have a lot more instances where, you know, you may not have realized how often that you've had experiences. But anyway, this video is getting really long. Hopefully by listening to this you can decipher if you are Pleiadian or a mix, and then you can watch all of the different videos, and this really is an introduction. You know, there's obviously going to be more information. Okay guys, I'm gonna wrap it up. Sending you love. They're sending you love. They're all sort of fading away. I'm fading away. My voice is fading away. All right, thank you for watching. Good night.